Hello and welcome to one and all. So today in this class, we will start with the third unit, that is national income, poverty and unemployment. So there are three different topics. In fact, four different topics are included in this unit. So basically this topic covers the national income, that is what are the trends in the growth rates of national and per capita income in India, and also the sectoral contribution. So national income and sectoral contribution to national income. Then the next topic it covers is the about income inequalities, how the national income is distributed, or what are all the causes and measures for income inequalities. And then next it deals with the twin problems of poverty and unemployment. So poverty causes, what are the consequences of poverty, and measures. And next deals with the unemployment. What are all the various types of unemployment? Again, what are all the causes, consequences, and measures? Actually, the measures for unemployment and poverty, they both are similar. Okay, so these are all the topics that are covered in this third unit. So first, let us start with the national income and sectoral contribution to national income. Okay. So first topic, national income or trends in the growth rates of national and per capita income in India. So first, what is the meaning of national income? So national income is nothing but all the goods and services produced in the country in a year converted in terms of money. So that is the meaning of national income, or in other words, the total value of all goods and services produced in a country in a year. So value. So when you multiply with price, we will get the value of the all the goods and services produced in a country. And there's a, as per the quotation given by the National Income Committee of India. So the National Income Committee defined national income as, so National Income Committee was appointed in 1949. So as per this committee, a national income estimate measures the volume value, both means the same, the volume of commodities and services turned out during a given period. So given period is a financial year. So during a given period, counted without duplication. So counted without duplication means there's something called as the double counting. So there should not be double counting in the sense that either we have to calculate the value of the final product, or we have to calculate stage by stage. First the raw material stage, then add the intermediate stage, and then next add the value of the final product. So we should not, if we are calculating both at the raw material stage and intermediate stage, again including the same values in the final stage, then that becomes double counting. That is what called as duplication. So counted without duplication means if we are counting the same commodity twice, once at the final stage and again at the raw material stage, then it will called as double counting. Then the value of the national income will show an increase. So it should not be done like that. So either it has to be calculated at the final stage, the final product, or step by step. What is the value at the raw material stage, plus add the value at the intermediate stage, then finally add the value at the whatever the final product. So that's the meaning counted without duplication. Okay, so anyway, this is the meaning of national income. And actually, the national income in our country at present is calculated by Central Statistical Organization. So before independence, there was not, uh, I mean, there were not any specific agency to calculate the national income in the country. No agency was entrusted with the responsibility of calculating the national income of the country. Only there were independent calculations, estimations made by some of the economists like Dadabhai Nauroji, Finlay Sheras, Dr. V.K.R.V. Rao, etc. So each and every one of these economists, they calculated national income in their own way. So there was no proper coordination, or each and every economy, they were using their own methods of calculating the national income. So it was not, even to put it simply, it was not proper. So what happened after independence? The government appointed the National Income Committee. So in 1949, after independence, the government, this was before independence. So before independence, these economists were calculating the national income, independent valuing on their own methods. Okay. So after independence, the government appointed the National Income Committee and entrusted the job of calculating the national income of the country. So National Income Committee, it was appointed in 1949 with Mr. P.C. Mahalanobis, who was happened to be the chairman of the National Income Committee. For information, P.C. Mahalanobis was the architect of Indian 5-year plans as the chairman, and two other members, Dr. Gadgil and Dr. V.K.R.V. Rao as members of the committee. So this committee gave its first report in 1954. So the first report of national income of India post-independent period was submitted by the National Income Committee in 1954. But then afterwards, the job of calculating the national income of India was handed over to the Central Statistical Organization. So even today, the Central Statistical Organization is responsible for calculating the national income of India, popularly known as the CSO. Okay, and Central Statistical Organization calculates the national income based on either, so the national income of the country is calculated based on either national income at current prices. So national income at current prices means based on whatever the current market prices. So based on the current market prices, that is if we are calculating the national income of India for 2022-23. So whatever the current market prices for 2022-23, based on that the national income is calculated. Basically how it is calculated, uh, price of the commodity multiplied by quantity. So P1 Q1 plus P2 Q2. So all the commodities, or whatever the quantities of each and every commodity is multiplied with their respective prices which is prevailing currently. So that is the calculation of national income at current market prices. But the problem is, uh, this method show an inflated value or deflated value if the price level keeps on changing, because the price level will not remain constant, isn't it? They keep on fluctuating. So if it is changing, then the value of the national income will also keep on changing. So in order to rule out that problem, another method used is national income at constant prices. So national income at constant prices is based on the something called as the base year prices. So some year is selected as a base year, and whatever the prices prevailing in that particular year, the same price will be used for the next 5 years or 10 years. In our country, every 10 years we keep on changing the base year prices. Okay. So that is the national income calculated based on base year prices. So this is mainly to rule out the possibility of price fluctuations. This is also known as the calculating the national, this is, I mean, in other words, this is what is called as a real national income. If we are calculating the national income at current prices, that is what is known as the money national income. If you are calculating the national income at base year prices or constant prices, that is what is known as the real national income. Okay. So recently, very recently, the Central Statistical Organization, they the latest base year what they are using is 2011 and 12. Okay. Now, based on the this prices, let us check out how the national income of the country change over a period of time. Okay, both in current prices as well as in the constant prices. So trends in national income and per capita income. So total national income divided by population, total population, that is the per capita income. That is the average income earned by the citizen of a country. So if we check the data of national income and per capita income in India, so let us check out both at the current prices as well as the constant prices. So at 2004-5, so this is constant prices. So at constant prices, the national income of India was 2,69,724 crores. This was in 1951. Okay, and it increased to 1 crore 14 lakhs 4,413 in 2017-18. Okay, and the same thing, if you are calculating at current prices at current prices for the year 2017-18. So at current prices, the national income was, it was only 9,829 crores. This was in 1951, which increased to the same thing in 2017. It increased to 47 lakhs 10,563 crores. This was in 2017-18. So you can see there is a lot of difference between the what you say in the national income of the country if you compare it with the constant prices and the current prices. So that's why most of the time it is advisable to take the constant prices instead of the current prices. So current prices, it's the value of the national income is mostly reflected because of the changes in prices. So that is not going to give the correct picture of the total value of volume of goods produced in the country. We want to know what is the production of the country, isn't it? Whether the production of the country is increasing, remaining stagnant, or even decreasing. So if suppose if the production is decreasing, but the price level in the country keeps on increasing, then the national income will also show an increase. So we will not be knowing that the production of the country has decreased. So in order to know exactly the production of the country has increased or otherwise, it is always advisable to check the national income at constant prices compared to the current prices. The same thing if you check the per capita income at 2004-2000, right? It was rupees 7,513 in 1950-51, which increased to rupees 86,668 in 2017-18. If the same thing, if you are checking with the current prices, it was rupees 274 in 1950-51, increased to 1,12,835. So you can see the lot of difference between the current prices. 7,000, where is 7,000 and where is 274, and 86,000 and 1,12,000. So this is mostly because of the rise in the general price level. And another thing you have to understand, don't get too excited about knowing that the per capita income of India is either 86,000 or 1,12,835. Per capita income is only the average. So when we are calculating the per capita income, we are including Mukesh Ambani also. Like that, so many richer sections of the population, they are also included here. So that's why it is showing a like 1 lakh. Okay, so just understand the fact that it is only the average income earned by the citizen of the country. So all the richer sections of the population in the country will also be included in the when we are calculating the per capita income of the country. Okay, so anyway, this is basically to know the difference between how the national income or the per capita income shows a difference when we are calculating at the current prices and the constant prices. Okay, now next let's move on. Plan by trends in the growth rate mean how the growth rate of national income and the per capita income of the country changed over a period of time, how it has increased or how it has decreased over a period of time. So let us start from the planning period to till now, how the national income or per capita income of the country has changed. Okay, so let us check with the percentage wise. So percentage wise, growth rates of NNP and per capita income. So let us divide the period the plan period into 4 parts, starting from 1950-51 to up to 2013-14. So let us divide the periods into 4 parts and let us check out how the growth rate has changed during this period of time. So first it is period, then national income at constant prices. So this is constant prices taken 1999 2000 base, that year has taken as the base year. So 1999 2000 is equal to 100. Okay. Then per capita income at constant prices. Same 1999 2000 is equal to 100. So this is what is called as the base year prices. So first period 1950-51 to 1980-81. So it was, the national income was 3.5% on an average for 30 years. Between 1950-51 to 1980-81, the national income was growing at the rate of 3.5% per annum. And per capita income was growing only at the rate of 1.4% per annum. So it's the second period, 1980-81 to 2000, 2001. So this 5.6%. So for the first time, we were able to break that record of what is all over the world. India's growth rate was criticized as traditional, something called as the traditional Hindu growth rate. So it was criticized that India cannot grow more than 3% of national income. So because for a long period of time, our growth rate was only around 3%. But for the first time in the 1980s, we broke that record and the national income increase crossed the 5%. So the national income was 5.6%, and the per capita income also simultaneously increased to 3.2%. Okay. Then third period between 2000, 2001 to 2004, 2005. So during this period, on an average, the national income further increased to 6.4% and the per capita income 4.7%. And next, 2004, 2005 to 2013 and 14. Further, it increased to 7.3% and 5.8%. So when you, of course, it is not, first it was 30 years we took into consideration, then 20 years, then only 4 years. It is not, the period taken is not uniform, I agree. But then just on an average between whatever it is, whatever the number of years we are taking, what matters is only within this period, what is the average growth rate of national income as well as the per capita income per year. So in that way, it doesn't matter. The number of years varies, also it doesn't matter. We are just comparing the average growth rate per year within this period. Okay. So when you look at these data, we can conclude that reasonably it is not, from 3.5% as of now, we have increased to 7.3%. And this also 1.4 to 5.8. Even though there are fluctuations, it is a reasonably healthy development in the country. So we can just conclude that reasonably healthy development of both national income and per capita income. So this is what we are finding on when we check the percentage-wise growth rates of the national income and per capita income. So let us break this out and then check detailedly, plan-wise, what was the growth rate of national income and the per capita income, starting from the first 5-year plan. Okay. So that is annual growth rates of national income and per capita income during plans. So first column, let us mention what are all the various plan period. Second column, national income. We are measuring in terms of percentages, the growth rate in the national income. Third column, growth rate of the per capita income in percentages. And the last column, let us have the reasons and remarks. Okay. So now, first plan. The first plan, the period was between 1951-52 to 1955-56. So during this period, the growth rate of average growth rate of national income was 4.4%. And anyway, here I mentioned everything is percentages. And the per capita income was 2.6%. And remarks, if you say it is successful. So in the sense that it was only the first plan is only a trial plan, was only a trial plan. So the government fixed the target also, I mean, not very high, that because the low target, we were able to achieve the growth rate and of per capita income as well as the national income. Anyway, we can conclude that the first plan was a reasonably successful plan for the country. Then moving on to second plan. So second plan, the period was between 1955-56 to 1960-61. So during this period, the national income decreased from 4.4% to 3.8%, and the per capita income also decreased to 1.7%. Okay. The reason, second plan, it was an industrial plan. So first plan, the government concentrated on agriculture. The investments were also less. The targets fixed were also less. And since we achieved the success, the government became enthusiastic and concentrated on the heavy industries, which required a huge amount of investment on the part of the government, and also heavy industries under the public sector. So since it was a major investment under the public sector, the targets, I mean, it collapsed. So the whatever the government expected, that did not happen. Okay. So that's why the second plan, because of that, it became a failure. Then moving on to the third plan. So the third plan was between 1960-61 to 1965-66. So during this period, it further decreased to 2.6% national income, and the per capita income 0.4%. So we had a severe, the reason was we had a severe economic crisis. We had wars with China and Pakistan, severe drought conditions, and previous plan government concentrated on industry. Of course, this plan again the government moved back to agriculture, but then because of the drought condition, climate, monsoon failure and all, and apart from that, the wars and everything, it was a total disaster. So national income still plunged down to 2.6%, and the per capita income also decreased to 0.4%. So this one was also failure. Okay, and I'll write F for failure. And then moving on to the fourth plan. So the fourth plan was between 1969-70 to 1973-74, because there was between 1966 to 1969, there were 3 annual plans that is called as the plan holiday. Because of the severe crisis in the country, the government could not continue with the full-fledged 5-year plans. So the 3-year were considered as a plan holiday. Okay. So and then finally the fourth plan commenced on 1969. So during this slight improvement, national income increased to 3.1% and very, very slight improvement in per capita income 0.8%. But then the thing is the inflation, the general price level started increasing. So because of the previous drought conditions, shortage of food and everything, the inflation, but slowly the economy picked up. Okay. So this was during the uh, fourth 5-year plan. Now moving on to the fifth 5-year plan. So fifth 5-year plan between 1974-75 to 1977-78. So fifth 5-year plan, it had only 4 years because of change of government. Okay. So the national income 4.9%, almost 5%. So for the first time, we were able to break that record, reached the 5%. And the per capita income also increased to 2.6%. Okay. So during this period, it was satisfactory. And also during the fifth 5-year plan, all the government started attacking the problem of poverty, the problem of unemployment, even the family welfare. All those programs the government started finally addressing directly. Okay. So many employment schemes were beginning to be initiated in the country, so many programs to alleviate poverty. All those the programs were undertaken by the government. So because of all those reasons, slightly, and the family program also is being initiated in the country. So because of that, there was a slight increase both in the per capita income as well as the national income of the country. Okay. Next, moving on to the sixth 5-year plan. So sixth 5-year plan, so 1978 to 80, there was a gap because of the change of government. During this period of time, some role, I mean, it was Congress government. 2-year period, Janata Dal government came into power and they introduced something called as the rolling plan. But again, the government collapsed. So again, 1980, back to Congress government, and the normal 5-year plan commenced between 1980-81 to 1984-85. So the national and the employment programs and all those were being implemented in the country very severely during this period of time. So many poverty alleviation programs like 20-point economic programs by Srimati Indira Gandhi. So there was a remarkable improvement in the national income of the country and also the per capita income. Okay. So it is also further improvement in both in the national and per capita income. As I mentioned, more and more employment and programs and poverty alleviation program were implemented by the government. Okay. And now afterwards, what happened in 1984, Mrs. Indira Gandhi was assassinated. And then Mr. Rajiv Gandhi became the prime minister. And and afterward, that from 1980, where the seventh plan onwards, it is from the Rajiv Gandhi was the prime minister. So let me continue with my next class. From seventh plan, what was the growth rate from the uh, till the 12th plan? Okay, so let me continue those with the in my next class. Hope you are understanding the concept, how the changes are happening in the country uh, based on this. Whatever is happening in the situations that are happening in the country, accordingly, the national income and the per capita income of the country also keeps on changing. So in the first unit, we had something called as the indicators of economic development. So if you remember, in the indicators of economic development, the first indicator is the national income, the second indicator is the per capita income, isn't it? So if there is any problem in the country, it directly reflects in the national income and the per capita income. So that much I think you can understand. Okay. So from this next plan, I will continue with my next class. Okay. So if you find this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any doubts or suggestions, please mention in the comment box. Okay. So until my next class, take care. Bye bye.